Imagine adding the net worth of the famous tycoon magnates, celebrities, and known personalities. What could we do with all that money? Build the finest homes, estates, and buy the highest values of luxury, jewelry, and of course, food. Even so, you can make the most out of it by just spending at least a quarter of that. It seems that it could make almost every person living on this planet well fed and sheltered by giving them $1,000 each. It's way more hefty than we could ever think, isn't it? How about imagine way beyond the combined wealth and by means living under the fantasies of owning $1.5 trillion? Thinking on how we can spend it could literally make you lightheaded. In this video, we will talk about Saudi Arabia's monarch, also known as the wealthiest royal family to hold an empire worth more than $1 trillion. Shortly after the death of custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz, on 3 Rabi al-Thani, custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, was crowned the 7th king of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. King Salman is perhaps the Council of Ministers' Prime Minister. Following the death of Crown Prince Nayef bin Abdulaziz on June 18, 2012, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz anointed King Salman bin Abdulaziz as Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and nominated him as Deputy Prime Minister. Saudi Arabia's absolute king has ruled since half-brother King Abdullah died in January 2015, and he has lost no time in asserting his authority. He said in April 15 that he will change the Saudi line of succession, which now passes the throne to the sons of the country's founder, Abdulaziz ibn Saud. His new plan transfers the kingdom to the next generation, putting Prince Mohammed bin Nayef, his grandson, in line for the throne and ensuring a younger succession of rulers. In 1963, Al Saud was appointed governor of Riyadh province, a position he held for 48 years. Riyadh thrived and urbanized under his reign, drawing tourists, trade, and investment. Mohammed was named Crown Prince in June 2017 and wasted little time in achieving his lofty ambitions. Only a few days later, he led a multi-country boycott of Qatar, not only because of its sympathetic approach toward Iran, but also because of its support for regional competitor non-state actors like the Muslim Brotherhood. Though the blockade caused a short-term catastrophe for Qatar, the country exploited its resources to promote economic development away from reliance on its Gulf neighbors. Saudi Arabia's royal dynasty, like those of many other Middle East nations, owes its first fortune to the inexhaustible oil riches discovered 75 years ago beneath its territory. The country was ruled by King Abdulaziz ibn Saud at the time. As the world's reliance on oil became stronger with each successive year, so did Saudi Arabia's and its family's wealth. Saudi Aramco, the state-owned oil and natural gas firm, is estimated to be worth over $2 trillion, making it one of the world's valuable corporations. It's tough to know who really has much money because most members of the royal family don't disclose their holdings. However, it is estimated that Saudi Arabia's king and clan head Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud is valued at $18 billion. He is perhaps the most powerful member of the royal family, despite handing over primary responsibility to his son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Saudi Arabia's royal family continues to protect details about their wealth confidential. King Salman, on the other hand, is believed to own at least 4 opulent imperial residences. The Maraba Palace, which contains 32 rooms and around 7 courtyards, is one of his palaces. Because the monarch is currently residing in another magnificent palace, it's presently a heritage edifice rather than a residential residence. The Al-Yamana Palace is the name of the second estate he occupies. The construction and setting of this palace surpasses that of the preceding one. It has approximately 400 rooms. Riyadh's palace serves as the royal capital and features chambers with exquisite chandeliers and gold embellishments, as well as 8 marble floors. The Erga Palace, which belongs to King Salman, is another opulent residence. The magnificent mosaic floors and unusual carvings on the lofty ceilings and enormous walls are well known. The Crown Prince enjoys the same wealth as his father, the monarch. Prince Mohammed bin Salman possesses a $300 million castle in France, which is equal to the king's royal residences. It has been dubbed one of the world's valuable mansions. It has a French feel to it, but it's also fairly contemporary, featuring tennis and squash courts. The garden courtyard encompasses approximately 15 acres of ground. It features moats with fountains that can be lit up to make them look spectacular. There are magnificent jacuzzis and a big infinity pool on the premises. There are at least 10 bedrooms, each of which is over 50,000 square feet in size. Salman just went all out and pushed some more of Saudi Arabia's wealthiest individuals to hand over their vast sums of money to the government. He did so in the pretense of fighting corruption and detaining them at Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh. Members of his family were also imprisoned and compelled to yield over their assets. According to official statements, the operation brought in more than $100 billion for the country's treasury. Naturally, there's no way to validate this figure. That year, his soldiers detained the country's most influential leaders and held them in solitary confinement for weeks, if not months, at the lavish Ritz-Carlton residence in Riyadh. Following accusations of physical abuse, several were moved to prisons or other detention institutions. The names of those imprisoned were never confirmed by the kingdom, but reportedly included billionaire Prince Awalid bin Talal and Saudi's construction magnate Bakr bin Laden. 2 more high-ranking officials were dismissed from their positions and put on trial last year. Considering the amount of money Saudi Arabia's royal family owns, we cannot deny their power over the entire country. With the eyes of people crowding over their riches, allegations can smack them in the face left and right. So better keep your wealth to yourself.